Tracks Talk. Breaking down Disciple songs every month. A Rebel Society exclusive. Prepare for impact.
Hello again, Rebel Society members. This is... busted. I still don't have a name. Current me does not have a name. Future me does, and you know what it is. And I'll make sure to splice it in here. Actually, I'll just go ahead and create a spot for me to actually say the name later. Welcome to
Tracks Talk.
I'm your host, Josiah Prince, and today we're going to be looking at the song Come My Way from the album Long Live the Rebels. This song is super cool and a favorite of mine, not just because I sing in it, but there are plenty of reasons. This is one that our producer, Aaron Sprinkle, really helped bring to life and take to another level, but it had some cool origins that I want to show you, and there's a lot of cool elements that might not be as apparent in the final mix that you're all familiar with. So this song is also kind of interesting because it's one of our favorite songs from the album, but live it's kind of a bust, for lack of a better term. We played it once, full band, and we've played it acoustic once by request. But in general, it's just a very, it's such a slow-paced song, and it's long, and so it kind of doesn't deliver as much as a lot of other tunes, whereas I think the recording delivers exactly how we wanted it to. But you just never know until you play a song in front of a crowd how well it's going to go over. Anyway, it's just kind of loses momentum for the show whenever we've played it. But let's see here. Switch over to this view. Isn't that so cool? I just push a little button on the keyboard and it flips to that view. Anyway, it's great. Here are, so let's just go back to the beginning. When I first wrote this song, Jason Wilkes was still in the band as our bass player, and he had a super high voice that we were starting to use on the records. And so I originally wrote it with the idea of Kevin singing the verses and then Jason singing the Come My Way part. And so you'll hear, I originally had it in a higher key because Jason could reach super high notes and the verses are lower.
Something makes me wonder if I will ever feel safe, running from the darkness in the atmosphere, hear it calling my name. Are you gonna come my way? Are you gonna come my way?
And then later when he goes big,
Are you gonna come my way? Are you gonna come my way?
and then right here, it was just a musical break. Still pretty chill. It's like a guitar solo type, like the first guitar solo is like an A solo. It's a little more tame. And then it would go from here into verse 3.
Something in the chemicals makes me dream of a place where I'm fighting for a miracle, being pulled by the waves.
Here comes Jason.
Are you gonna come my way?
And from there, the song pretty much stays the same. It goes into that guitar solo, but the biggest thing missing from that is the actual chorus that Kevin eventually wrote, which, as you probably know, sounds something like this. So that whole section was not in that original demo with me and Jason, and I wasn't really sure. To me, the "Come My Way" part was kind of the chorus, but it definitely had way less. There was not a big payoff moment, I would say. And so when Kevin was listening to the demo, he said, I really like. He's like, I had this idea. I really want it to like come in and hit hard and really deliver, because it feels like it's just building to something the whole time. And so he wrote that section. There is no hiding from the whispering. And instantly I was like, yes, that's exactly what it needed. And so he definitely took it to the next level and tied in the "Come My Way" part in the third line. And it just kind of all fell together from there. It's obviously like a very different kind of song for Disciple. It's got a lot of weird stuff in it. So one of my favorite parts is after chorus 1, the drum break with the guitar solo. And I say guitar solo, it's really just like a bunch of noise, but this is what it sounds like. And that is actually from the demo. I had eventually I tracked these guitar parts and chopped them up. You can see them here. It's these two regions, and so you see. And, it was kind of like I was sitting there kind of playing, but also just making a bunch of noise and really just trying to get the chaos happening in this song. And then the actual solo is very chaotic as well, which I had written the solo pretty much the same way on the demo. Where is that solo? There you are. Oh yeah, we also ran it through a pod pedal. Forgot about that. So yeah, that was a really fun solo to play. I played that one, and it's just kind of like, Kevin describes that kind of playing as like straitjacket, like just, everything's shaking, everything's kind of crazy. It's not quite on pitch all the time. There's a lot of bends, and that's kind of what I feel like my kind of forte is when it comes to solos, is more of a unhinged, wild, kind of feel-based solo, whereas Andrew is way more like technical and precise and can play fast, really smooth, just buttery, beautiful musical solos, and mine are more like just throwing up on a canvas, if you're talking about painting, which of course we are. So anyway, that's kind of my coolest guitar part on the record, probably. There's also a fun part here where I did a ton of screams going into the final chorus, or half chorus, I suppose. And then I think this part's funny because it's my most terrible, like my most intense, scary sounding vocals on the album, immediately followed by my prettiest vocals on the album. Here's what I'm talking about. So you got the screams here, and then this high part here. Oops. Are you gonna come my way? Come my way. So, all me, just very different takes. So that was really fun. I love the contrast of those elements, just really brutal, followed by really kind of ethereal, pretty sounding stuff. Now this loop that starts the song off was based on what I had in my demo, but Aaron kind of built this all from scratch. So it's really just, I love the energy of it. Like just already the feeling of the song is there just from that loop. You know, kind of dark, kind of dirty, just. There's also this track that I had made in the demo that's kind of fun. It's a sitar and a flute. It's like this funny kind of combo instrument that's kind of, moody. Here it is in the mix, really loud.
Hear it calling my name.
Are you gonna come my way? Are you gonna come my way?
So yeah, it's like another weird texture, and then this falling percussion sound, kind of tinkly glass thing.
Are you gonna come my way?
Thought that was fun. And then Aaron had this really great shaker in. I'm pretty sure he tracked that himself. Sounds great.
Are you gonna come my way?
One of my favorite parts Kevin added was this.
Can you feel my fingertips on the chalkboard of your soul?
Which, if you're listening to the full mix, it might be hard to even tell what he's doing, but he's saying, "Can you feel my fingertips on the chalkboard of your soul?" It's heavy.
Can you feel my fingertips on the chalkboard of your soul?
And Aaron added some sort of modulator on there.
Can you feel my fingertips on the
The pitch is kind of rising with it. Love that. And then, there's a lot of just great vocal performances from Kevin in this one. And let's see. Oh, I love this too. Aaron made this reverse vocal reverb in the verse 3. The verse 3.
Something in the chemicals makes me dream of a place.
Really cool. And then it has this reverse piano on it as well.
Something in the chemicals makes me dream of a place. Waiting for a miracle, being full battery.
Really fun. Let's see. That might be about all I got for this one. This is another one that Ethan Luck played bass on, and one thing that's cool in this one that we did was these little bass inversions in the middle of the choruses. Let's see. Check it out. So nothing else is doing those chords, but the bass implies this fall down from, it would be a B minor. So the chorus is centered around B minor. Boom, 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 boom. And then you got boom, boom, G, boom, boom, A. And I think we did that because, it was just 4 big hits of B in a row and then just all this empty space. And so kind of having those bass notes in there kind of implies a little bit of movement on the chord side. Because then when it goes back to the B for that next line, it feels like it's lifting back up as opposed to being on the same chord the whole time. And I thought that's like a fun little thing that a lot of people probably haven't heard in the final product. There's also this really great sound that... Where'd it go? There it is. I love that. It's in every chorus. funny. I don't remember why we did that, but it's pretty awesome. Yeah, a lot of just funny sounds going on that you might not notice in the final mix, but there's this wobbly string thing. You know, at the end of the day, we go into a studio and we put down, you know, all the ideas, and then a mix guy, a mix engineer, is a lot of times kind of playing the role of what like a film editor would be, where you're kind of deciding what is important and what should be out front, and then you're looking at what maybe should take a back seat or not be as prevalent. There's 81 tracks on this song, so 81 you know, things that happen in the song basically, and that breaks down to, of course, there's, you know, 13 or 14 drum tracks, drum microphones, and then all the little effects and reverb things have their own track. Each vocal take, each double of vocal takes, we double most all of our vocals, so there's 2 different takes, and that really thickens it up. If you're not familiar with that technique, this is what it...
Are you gonna come my way?
So that's 1 Kevin, but we usually track a second one.
Are you gonna come my way?
And if I split those out, you'll hear it even more defined.
Are you gonna come my way?
So you can see how it just gives it a lot more power and makes, you know, it can cut through a mix sometimes a lot better when it's doubled like that. Same with my vocal here.
Well, I'm dining with the enemy on the 17th day. It's like I'm hiding from the remedy. Can't believe when they say,
Are you gonna come my way?
So doubling is pretty much something that we always do unless it's a very specific part that only needs 1 vocal, like for instance verse 3.
something in the chemicals makes me dream of a place where I'm fighting for a miracle.
So that one starts singled out, but then it goes to doubles to make it bigger. But yeah, and then let's see. I love hearing a cappella vocals like that when they're stacked, and I'm a huge fan of the Beach Boys, as most of you know, and if you don't, then you can see the poster behind me. So I love just hearing soloed vocals.
Are you gonna come my way? Are you gonna come my way? There is no hiding from the whispering that's like screaming in my ear. There is no shelter from this offering. The only question I can hear is, are you gonna come my way? Are you gonna come my way? Yesterday I might have said yes, but not today.
So anyway, a lot of cool stuff going on that I'm hoping that you're enjoying, kind of hearing these elements that aren't maybe aren't as prominent in the final mix on your CD or MP3, whatever. Most of you probably don't have the CD, and that's fine. Or even if you do, you probably don't actually listen to the CD most of the time. You listen to the bounce on streaming or whatever, which is great. It's all good. Yeah, and this is another one just on guitar tones. Let me see if we have the notes here. Yeah, so we used a bunch of, probably for all you guitar people out there, we used a bunch of tones that aren't typical of a Disciple song, just because this song, it has the heavy parts, but it has a lot of parts that are more just textural and, gritty, but not really heavy. So, for instance, this is the main guitar, main heavy guitars, I would say. So that's a pretty straightforward heavy tone, but then you've got stuff like this in the intro. A little more of a filtered, like, nasty tone. but it serves the purpose really well. And then we have cleans from an AC30 tone on the Kemper. They have some delay built into them, and harmonics there. This was on a Telecaster of Aaron's. Love that. Just kind of, again, creating the mood. And then we've got an angle on this octave here in the chorus. Oh yeah. So that's playing a higher octave of the main lead part here. Let's see. So that's all the same tone actually. Angle Invader, tone hammer. Love that. And then these bends are on a Friedman. Again, not something we would typically throw into a Disciple song. And then, let's see. Yeah, that's about it, I think. I think I've hit all the cool stuff. Hopefully anything that you were wondering about in this song has been addressed. And if not, then please go to the Facebook page for Rebel Society and make a post, make a comment, just say, hey, I wish you would have talked about this part of Come My Way because I like this part, or I wanted to know about this. So there we go. Yeah, the whole point of this is for y'all to hopefully hear some cool stuff that you might not have noticed before, and also just to do something cool for people who are into audio or into music production, or even just want to know more about what goes into arranging a song for Disciple. And so, I want this to be as cool for you as possible. So if you have an idea, or if there's something that you'd like to see more of or hear more of in the future, please go to the Facebook page and for Rebel Society and throw up a comment. I will be on there a lot, interacting and getting feedback, and let's just keep working together to make this segment as awesome as possible. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.